What's going on, guys? Chris Poker here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Right now we're at road to 50k, which means we're trying to profit $50,000 in about a year playing poker. Time wise, we're about 3 months in. We're only 10% to our goal of 50k though, so we're lagging behind, but that's okay. We're gonna probably ramp up our sessions, ramp up our hours in the next quarter or two, so we should be getting back on track. We're still gonna stick with 2 videos, but that means we're gonna have more hands, multiple sessions per video. If you guys want to see that, give me the thumbs up button, click that subscribe so you guys don't miss out on that. One more thing I want to talk about is next week I only have 1 video for you guys on Monday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play enough cast sessions, get enough hands recorded to get 2 videos out next week, and I'll explain why in the next video, but for now just know that we only got 1 video next week, but it's only for next week. Maybe during Christmas we'll see how much action we get on the poker tables, but we'll try to grind it. We'll still try to grind through Christmas, but yeah, we're getting to the holiday season. I guess everybody's gonna go play more poker, hopefully I'm going to. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into hands and I'll talk to you guys after. Alright everybody, this is Saturday. It's around 2 p.m. We decided to go to the poker room a little earlier just to see how the vibe is, how the players are, and they open up a brand new table, and this is the first hand that we get involved in. I am under the gun +1, and I look down at Ace King offsuit, decide to open it up to $15. The button calls, the small blind calls, the big blind calls, and we are 4 ways to a flop of Jack 3-9 rainbow. Action checks to me. I decide to check this back. My multi-way, just have ace high. Also a brand new table. Just want to see how people are playing. And the button checks as well, so it checks through on the flop. Turn comes the jack of clubs. The blinds check it over to me again. I decided to check this one back. The top card pairing doesn't really help me. Definitely ace high could be a good showdown hand, so I'm trying to get the showdown. Button checks as well, so we check through on the turn. The river comes the 4 of clubs. Small blind now bets out for $25, and I wanted to see what he had, so I call, and only I call. Everybody else folds, and he says he has a 9. He shows queen 9 of spades, which makes sense. So ace high is no good here, so we lose this pot. Moving right along here, hijack opens in this hand to $15. The button calls, and I look down at queen jack suited in the big blind. I decide to call. Definitely there's merit to 3-betting here, but they were folding a lot of 3-bets, and queen jack suited, I mean, we're really deep, right? 300 plus big blinds deep, so I wanted to, realize some equities and create a bigger pot, and I don't mind going multi-way with a suited Broadway hand like this. We go to the flop 3 ways. The flop comes down 5-5 jack, 2 hearts. I check it over to him. Hijack continues for $25. The button gets out the way. Hitting top pair here with pretty decent kicker. I'm not gonna overplay it. I just call. Turns the king of spades though. I don't really like this card, obviously, just because it's an over card to my pair. But I start with a check, and this time he checks back. And when he checks back, feels like I have the best hand here. The river comes the deuce of spades. Very bricky. He could stab his hard draws for a bluff, but I decided to just lead out for 35, targeting maybe his pocket 9s and 10s, which would have just checked back anyways. And he tanks for a bit, thinking maybe he might make a move here or something like that, but unfortunately he just folds, so we take this one down. Under the gun limps in here, folds to me in the hijack, and I look down at 2 red kings. Damn, okay, here we go. I bump it up to $25. Only the under the gun limper calls, so we are heads up to a flop of 3 ace, ace, 2 diamond. Seeing an ace is very bad with kings. Seeing 2 aces is maybe a little bit better, so I don't really hate it, but I'm not loving it either. The under the gun checks to me. I decide to start with a small c-bet of $15, and I think he smells some weakness here, and he raises it up to 35, but it's a very small raise. I decide to call, reevaluate the turn. The turn comes the 6 of spades. Doesn't really change the board. The under the gun now still continues betting, this time for $50. I do call. The river comes the ace of hearts. So now there's 3 aces. I have aces full of kings. I mean, he could have an ace here, but it's very unlikely now. Under the gun keeps betting for 75, and I do call because I do beat a lot of hands now, like a set of 6s, and he shows me pocket 4s, and I do take this one down with kings. Alright, right on to the next one. Low jack opens to $20 here. Hijack calls, the cutoff calls, and I'm in the big blind with pocket 4s. Gonna set mine, so I decide to call. I don't think the 3-bet is necessary here, but maybe with an aggressive opener or loose aggressive opener, I would have 3-bet this, but I decided to call here. Everybody's playing pretty tight, so we are 4 ways to a flop of 4, 8, 6, 2 clubs. Damn, we do hit a set. Kind of kicking myself that I did not 3-bet, but that's okay. I start with a check, checking it to the aggressor, but unfortunately it checks through on the flop. The turn comes the deuce of clubs, so the front flush get there, so I I think I need to start protecting my hand a little bit. So I decide to lead out for $35 here, and only the hijack calls. The river comes a 10 of hearts. The 10 of hearts really, in my mind, was a brick. So I decided to check it over to maybe see if he would bet at it. Like if he had 2 pair, maybe he would bet. I'm not really sure. I think this is a mistake though. I think it's better to bet out here so that a 2 pair or maybe even top pair would just kind of cry call. But I decided to check it over. Maybe he has a bluff that he's gonna bluff at, but unfortunately he checks back, and when he does, I know that I have the best hand, so I decided to just show my hand. And it is the best hand. I do take this one down. Yeah, kind of a mistake on the river. I think betting small or betting big, I don't think it matters. I think just betting out is the better play, but unfortunately I don't do that, and I try to get a little tricky, and it kind of backfires. Alright, this one is a very interesting hand. The low jack limps in, and I'm on the button with 8-7 of hearts. Not a bad hand, and I'm not going to limp in here. I raise it up to $25. The big blind calls and the limber calls, so we are 3 ways to a flop of 9-10 king 2 spades. So flopping an open-ender here, it checks it over to me. I am the aggressor, so I'm going to continue betting for $25, and only the big blind calls. So we go heads up to a turn of 5 of hearts. Ooh, so close, but so far. Big blind checks it over to me. I'm going to continue betting. I mean, the 5 of hearts really is kind of a brick. Doesn't change the board that much, so I continue betting for $80. He does call. So the river comes the king of clubs, and it's really hard for me to bluff here. So when he checks, I decide to just give up and check it back. I don't think anything's folding here, so I decide to check back, and he says he missed, and he shows 4-3 of spades, and I show my 8 high, and I do take it down with 8 high. My 8 high plays. So wow, very interesting. I think this guy should have bet with that hand. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was waiting for me to bet and then check raise, but somehow I get away with it and I take it down with 8 high. So yeah, comment down below, what do you think I should have done and what do you think he should have done, because this was a weird hand. But I mean, I guess I'll take it. I think guys that are playing earlier in the day are usually a little bit more tighter, a little bit more ABC. So this hand, it folds to me in the middle position, and I look down at ace queen offsuit, and I'm going to open it up to $15. The low jack to my left calls, the cutoff calls, so we are 3 ways to a flop of 8 deuce 8 2 diamonds. I'm going to continue betting, so I see bet for $25. I think this board is very hit or miss. I think my ace high would still be good a lot of the time, and only the low jack calls, so we are heads up to a turn of 5 of hearts. I continue betting, this time for $75. I don't think the 5 of hearts should have changed anything, and he calls. So we go to the river. The river comes the king of clubs. Ooh, kind of one of that card that I didn't really want to see. I decided to just check it. I think there's still merit in showdown value, so I check it, and he checks back, and I just show my ace high. He shows ace 3 of diamonds, so he was on a flush draw, and he had an ace with the worst kickers, so we take this one down too with the queen kickers. I guess we're getting away with it and getting lucky here. Okay, we're short-handed here. A couple people are leaving, a couple people are trying to come in. Folds to me in the cutoff though, and I look down at 6-7 offsuit. Decided to open this up to $15, and only the big blind calls. So we're heads up to a flop of 3-6 ace rainbow. Big blind checks it over to me. Flopping middle pair. I was the aggressor with an ace out there. Feels pretty good to see bet, so I see bet for $20. He calls. The turn comes a 6 of spades. Weak bink middle trips. Not bad here, but the big blind now leads out for $30. Did this 6 help him? I didn't really know if I could raise this. I did want to, but I was just afraid that maybe he has a better 6, even like 6-8, 6-9, something like that. So I decided to just call and reevaluate the river. Also, I don't push him out of some bluffs that he could have. Maybe he just has like a spade drawn now, or like maybe 4-5 an open ender that was kind of doing some weird stuff. Anyways, I just called. We go to the river. The river comes the ace of clubs, so double pairs the board. I didn't really like that card, but when the big blind checks it over now after leading out turn, I felt like this card could really benefit me. I mean, I guess he's afraid that I could have the ace here, so I decided to turn my hand kind of into a semi bluff and decided to bet out for $50, and he folds pretty quickly. So I don't know if I pushed him off a 6 or if he really just didn't have anything. I think it was the right play. Instead of just checking back, I decided to bet out and take the initiative and take this one down. Okay, we're still kind of short here. It folds to me in the cutoff, and I look down at pocket 9s and decide to open up to $15. Only the big blind calls. It's heads up to a flop of 9-8 ace 2 diamond. Oh my god, we are kind of running hot. Hitting another set. Big blind checks. I see bet small. I see bet for $15. He might have smelled some weakness, so big blind check raises to $60. And I'm just loving this here. I don't want to raise this up again. I smooth call this to keep his range wide. The turn comes a 6 of clubs. Not the best card. You know, if he has 10-7, now that got there. But other than that, it's okay. Maybe 5-7, but that's a really really weird hand to have. Big blind checks it over to me. I'm not gonna check it and give him a free card. Maybe he has some weird club draw or maybe even a diamond draw. So I decided to bet pretty big, 125 here to get value and protection. I think this is a great amount to bet. The big blind tanks for a while, but he ends up calling. River comes the queen of clubs. Again, another really bad card. Now Jack 10 gets there, the most obvious open-ended straight draw. Maybe he has Jack 10 and diamonds, something like that. Backdoor clubs, I'm not really afraid of it, but it did get there. And the big blind puts me to the test. He leads out now big for $365. And I'm in the tank. I'm just thinking about this. I mean, could he really have Jack 10? Could he have 10-7? Could he have hit a backdoor flush on me? My hand wasn't really repped well, so I felt like he could maybe try this thinking that I only had an ace. I think my hand is too strong to fold here, so I kind of give it a side call, and he says, nice call, you have it. And I'm like, I have a set. And he's like, you have a set? Oh shit, I thought you had like an ace. I was trying to push you off an ace. Yeah, kind of a weird hand, but hey, we take this one down. We get paid off because someone tried to bluff me off that hand. All right, now we're getting into the groove. Now we're kind of building, we're slowly chipping up. Here we got the cutoff opening to $15, and I'm on the button with ace 4 spades. I decided to call, no need to blow the pot and 3-bet. The blind gets out of the way, so we are heads up to a flop of 6-9 queen 2 spades. Okay, flopping a flush draw doesn't seem that bad. The cutoff c-bets for $20, and I decide to call here. The turn comes the queen of clubs. The cutoff continues to still bet on this card for $50. This is not really a good card. Pairs the board, so a full house now is kind of the nuts on the board. Even if I hit my flush, I didn't really know if my flush was going to be good. He definitely could have a queen, but we're going to find out here. So I decided to raise this up, turn my hand into a bluff to $150, which makes it that the only a queen can really continue here. And I think that's what he thought, and he decides to fold. Raising here really helps me figure out where I'm at in the hand, but also get a fold like this where we just take this one down. Here we go to the next hand. Under the gun +1 opens to $15, and I'm in the low jack with pocket 9s. He's kind of like a European pro, so I decided to 3-bet my hand to $60. I don't want to just play passive against this guy. That's what I do to isolate and go heads up, and that's what I get. Only the opener calls, so we are heads up in position to a flop of deuce 10-4 2 clubs. Under the gun +1 checks to me, and with just one overcard, my hand is still pretty good. I c-bet for $55, and he calls. So we go to a turn of Jack of Hearts. He checks it over, and I didn't really like this card, obviously. Now there's another card that's better than mine. The second flush draw is coming in. There's a club draw and a heart draw now. I decided to bet here. Instead of just checking, I bet $85. And now the under the gun +1 check raises to $435. He 5x raises my bet. This guy, he either knows what he's doing or he actually has it. Both bad combinations for me. With pocket 9s, third pair, ooh, calling a big raise on the turn like this seems like suicide. I felt like he was bluffing here a lot of the time though. He could have king queen of hearts or clubs. He could have jack 10 for value. I really only have maybe 2 clean outs, so doesn't feel really good. Even if it was bluffing, I couldn't really do anything, so I decided to just fold. Good thing I didn't bet that big on the term that I've been doing before in previous sessions. And yeah, we get away from this. But let me know in the comments, did I make a good fold or did I just play bad and get bluffed off? Let me know what I should have done. Alright, last hand here folks, and it's a good one. It folds to me in the cutoff, and I look down at king 3 of diamonds. I said, why not? Let's open this. You know, people have been playing tight. It folded to me on the cutoff. There's only, 3 people to get through, so I decided to open up to $15. Button now 3 bets to $50. The blind folds, and it's on me now. This opponent has been 3-betting my opens a lot this whole session, and I've been folding a lot. He's been 3-betting me. I've been folding like ace 10 off, ace jack off even. This time around though, king 3, it feels very hidden and it's suited, so I decide to defend one time to see what happens. We go heads up to a flop out of position though. The flop comes a 3-9-9 rainbow. I start with a check, flopping bottom pair. It's a very static, dry board. The button c-bets for $50. I don't think there's anything else I could do but defend and call, and we reassess on the turn. So that's what I do. I call, and we go to the turn of 8 of spades. Doesn't really change much. It's a little bit more favorable to my range than his 3-bet range. So I check it over to him, see what he does. He decides to bet big. He decides to bet $150. It kind of polarizes his range. He's either saying he has like aces, kings, or he has a 9, or he's just straight up bluffing. That's kind of what I put him at, and I felt like I was leaning more towards him bluffing here. Would he really do this with aces? He might bet a little bit more smaller or check to pot control with aces, because I could easily have a 9 here. So I decided to call and see what happens in the river, but if the river is kind of a brick, I'm just going to call anything that he bets on the river. So with that in mind, I called the turn. We go to the river. The river is kind of that brick. It comes to 5 of clubs. I check it one last time to him, and the button fires that third barrel. He bets out for 225, and I don't take that much time. I think a little bit, but I don't think I could fold here. If the river was like an ace, king, queen, jack even, I might fold that, but to a 5 of clubs, if he has it, he has it. I call, and he shows me queen 10 of diamonds, and I table my hand, and I take this one down. Really good hero call here, and the table was like, holy shit, okay, this guy came here to play. He had a diamond draw and a gut shot straight draw on the turn. That's why he bet big, but he bricks out, and we pick him off right here, and it feels real good. Real good. Okay, this is the real last hand here, but this is kind of boring. The hand before was actually the last hand where interesting things were happening. This hand, under the gun, opens to $15. Under the gun +1 though, 3 bets is to 55, and it folds to me on the button, and I look down at pocket jacks, and man, I haven't seen this much action pre-flop from the table all session. An open and a 3 bet, and then now what am I gonna do? 4 bet? I felt like a 4 bet was just overplaying my jacks. I was literally just only gonna get called by aces. Nobody was defending anything. With that in mind, I just proceed with caution, and I just call. Under the gun opener, he just folds. We are heads up with the 3 better. We go to the flop of jack 9-3 rainbow. Oh my god, now I'm kicking myself for not 4 betting. So under the gun +1 though, he c-bets for 75, so I'm like, okay, all right, I call. Maybe he has aces, you know. Turn comes the 8 of clubs, and now he checks. And when he checks, I'm like, oh god, he probably just given up. He probably has like ace king, and he's just done with this board. I don't want to check this behind though. The board is now a little bit more wet. 2 clubs, so I decided to just bet this out. I bet $200, and unfortunately he just folds pretty quickly. So yeah, kind of a boring hand, and that's how we finish off this session. I think we played a lot better, and we also ran a little bit better. So let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Alright, that's it for our session. We redeemed ourselves. We had a bounce back session after kind of punting the session before. We profited around $1,200 something. See the numbers right here. That felt good. I think we ran well, but we didn't really make our money from running that well. I think we played better to try to squeeze out more value than I could have had. I think the morning players, I mean, you can't even call it morning, it's like afternoon players, are way more tighter. They're not trying to battle out there. But yeah, it was hard to extract value. There were spots that you could have actually bluffed profitably, so yeah, not too shabby. If you guys enjoyed that video, click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the thumbs up as well on the video. It helps me a lot. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs before the end of this year. Come on guys, we can push through. We're almost there. Honestly, we are trending towards the right direction. I think just playing more sessions, more hours is what's necessary. We'll get to that. Again, like I said, next week only 1 video unfortunately, and I will tell you why in the next video. So thanks for watching guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep on grinding out there, keep playing. It's just an up and down journey, man. 2 steps up, 1 step back, but at least we're getting 1 step closer to our goal. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.